Nicole. Good night, good night. Just waiting for a couple more people to come on. Hi. Good night, everybody. Hi, Miguel. Okay, so we're going to start on a few. Talking today about brand audits, and if you've ever done one, if not, tips on why they're important, and also in terms of us. Hi, Candace. In ways that we can then possibly do one for you, or if it's one is needed. Sorry, my notes on the PC today, so you will see a little glare if there's anything on my side. Hope you're hearing me as well. Are you hearing me? Because I'm not feeling too well, so I'm not too sure how much of me you're really hearing. Just let me know if you're hearing me, please. Are you guys hearing? You're not hearing me? 1 second. Candice, are you hearing now? Okay, good. Just wanted to know that y'all are hearing me. So just going to talk a bit about brand auditing and what it entails. So we all know that branding is, thanks Nicole, is the cornerstone of your business. It tells a story, it spreads a message. It is the main part of your business that people would communicate and understand what you're about. So in ensuring that you're doing the right thing for your branding, sometimes an audit may be needed. It is possible at the beginning of a business, sometimes in the middle. You just take a step back to see where you are, or even if you're trying to rebrand, an audit is necessary. So it's needed sometimes that a makeover may be needed. So you have to ensure that you are sending the right messages out, your identity is being communicated properly, and it's just to ensure that the methods even that you're using for branding are the right methods for your brand, because not all methods may be needed, or no methods may not be necessary based on the type of brand that you have. So certain things that you'll need for a brand audit, but the first thing in terms of what is your brand message, can someone answer in terms of what they think their brand message may be, or what they inspire to have their brand message be? Candice, what do you think is your brand message? Candice is still with us. If not, maybe Nicole or Miguel. What do you think your brand message is? So what message are you sending with your branding in terms of it being your packaging, fun handmade jewelry? Okay, so that's easy enough and it's good. Sometimes, as I said, it's always good to describe made locally. It's good to describe your brand, or for persons to be able to describe your brand in 3 to 5 words. And it shouldn't always just be chic and those type of words that you see in magazines all the time, but something that is practical and memorable. So fun handmade jewelry, as if I think of that, you're supposed to think of Seaman bespoke designs. Same way too with DLR, that you think of out of the box or type designs. with Nick's Dream Life, you think about organization and possibly someone that is devoted to helping others as words that will come about and a brand message that you're trying to portray. So a brand audit, what you have to do is basically is you reviewing your brand and just ensuring that you're on the right path with your messages and your communication. So you have to ensure that your brand image, your identity, and your voice are all in sync. In terms of if you're, okay, so your fun handmade jewelry, that means all of your positioning in terms of your images. It shouldn't be fun to the way of being happy-go-lucky and stuff like that, but it's easy and bright, cherry pictures are being used. The types of messages and the identity that you're giving out to persons that, yes, it's true, you may go through the 1 or 2 days of that dong, but in terms of when you're putting up pictures, yes, you can have more than one. It's all about you just making sure that people understand when they see your messages that they don't get confused though, because it can be fun handmade jewelry, but then you could talk about the quality as well. So that may not come in with fun, but quality is there. So people know that it's long lasting, but they know that in terms of your brand and your personality comes across, and that's why it may be fun. But the quality then is that it lasts long and it looks well. So you look at it that way. Touching and transforming lives, yes, that's ways that you can look at it. So that means that your messages then should always be something of motivation, something that will resonate with persons that they can then do some reflection and introspection in terms of your brand. You have to know your demographic when you're doing your target audience, because you don't want that in terms of with Nick's Dream Life, touching and transforming lives. You don't want that you're thinking your target audience are these women that are of a certain age, but sometimes some of your images or even your messages may be too young for them to understand. That you're using memes that they may go over their heads, because it's just something that in terms of society that maybe they just can't understand because it's too young for them or it may be too old for them in terms of using certain traits or certain words. So you have to look again in terms of your image, and even that your demographics are then identified properly for your target audience. Who is your audience? How old are they? Where do they live? What do they do on their spare time? What do they do on a regular basis? Do they have children? What is their, I guess, in terms of their spending? Are they willing to spend from you on a regular basis? Do they only buy when it's occasions, or do they buy a spur of the moment? They see something and they like it and they go ahead and buy. So these are things that you have to understand. Ensure that when you're doing your brand audits, that is a part of it. Your mission and strategic objectives. It's not just about the product, but that is about your business. Where do you see your business in 2 to 3 years or 3 to 5 years? Is this, because what we're talking about, especially for the fashion arch, in terms of not just fashion businesses, but creatives as well, we're ensuring that you are creating businesses that are sustainable businesses. It's not a hobby, so you must have a mission, you must have a vision. You have to ensure that you then have these objectives that lead to this mission and vision, that you know where you want to be and how do you need to get there, and the strategies that you're going to use to get to these goals. In terms of how often are you posting, that's also a part of, in terms of branding at least. Are you doing collaborations with anyone? Because again, that could then increase your awareness, because it may be someone who may be a little more experienced in what they're doing, and they may have a broader sense of, in terms of their audience, maybe wider than yours. So you can collaborate with someone that fits into also your business objectives. It shouldn't just be because, see mine, in terms of you, Candace, you do beads, yes, that you can do a collaboration with a guy, someone who does shirts or clothing, but it should not be to the fact that in terms of that style of clothing or the mission or objectives of that business does not fit into yours. So you're saying it's fun handmade jewelry, or sometimes, yes, it's true, you have quality, so you can do something with Millhouse, but at the same time you can do something with Eclipse or even someone of a younger note. But again, it has to fall into place with what your business is looking at. We're not expecting you to go and do something with a carnival band just yet, because then carnival, you think of it not in a way that, yes, it's true, it's a big and a wide audience, but then when people use a carnival costume, not all the time they may keep their pieces, or then you don't want to become a part of the carnival aesthetic if that's not what your objective is. So you have to look at who you're collaborating with. Even look at ways that you can possibly get into media. Is it that you're sending information to bloggers, or you're then networking with bloggers so they can do referrals for you? Are you doing TV interviews? Are you getting press? All of these things are things you have to ask yourself. If it has been done, was it done correctly? Or is it something then that I should be looking at doing to then increase my brand awareness? So again, we're just looking at things that, for persons who just joined, thank you. persons who just joined, it's just ways that a brand audit will be important in terms of you knowing your brand image and identity, the types of messages you're sending out based on the colors you're using, the text you're using, the font. So if you have a fun-loving type logo, we're not expecting everything that you're sending out to be black and white, because that seems not just stark, but it's a more professional, seamless type color or scheme. So then we're expecting you to always use, in terms of, okay, hi Adrian, as you just joined, because you're minimalist, black and white always works for you. We're not expecting you to be splashing all over the place with pinks and blues and stuff like that. You will put it in terms of aesthetic or even inspiration because you are a Caribbean brand. But we're not expecting all of your messages to have in the corner have a little flower or a smiley face, because that's not what your brand message should be. It should be something that is minimalist, because of that's what your brand message is and that's what your brand identity is. And for a person to identify with you, that's how it should go. Again, your demographic and your target audience. Just going over this stuff again. You would also ensure that when you're doing this, that it's not just Trinidad or the Caribbean you're looking at. You're also trying to get at international market. So you have to ensure that it fits into what they understand as well. So yes, it may be the person's here may be going to the Avenue, or person's going to, or a corporate person. But you have to understand the corporate life in the US and the UK are different to here. So then how does, yes, a shirt here may be layered with something away, or can be worn by itself, or worn as an outer jacket with a nice dress below. So again, you have to ensure that when you're sending out your messages, that it can fit in all markets, everyone that you're looking at. Hi Claudio. So you have to do your market research. You must know the objectives of why you're doing an audit. Is it that you need to then see where you're going with your brand? Is it that you're not reaching the right persons? Is it that you're trying to increase your audience? Or is it that you need to rebrand? So you have to ensure that what you're doing, even sometimes how you may find out stuff, because you may not know all on your own. Yes, it's true. That's true. You're not there yet. That's no problem. But I think it's everyone's dream to get there globally. And again, it's just in terms of how you position yourself. So now you may be doing something for the Caribbean and for the local market, but you then may have to find a way, as I said, to do this audit to then increase your awareness or increase your position so that it's open up to the international market. So then they understand as well that it can fit into my aesthetic, or it can be for the diaspora, that they will then be able to relate with you because they understand what you're doing. So again, you're understanding where you're coming from with your target markets. So you have to find out in terms of how that logo and tagline is consistent in all images. If you're using it all the time, the color scheme you're using, even the fonts. Your fonts should show if it's something serious, if it's something fun, lighthearted, based on the information that you're sharing. Your fonts should be able to then reflect this as well. Your tag cards, your written material, your packaging, how appealing are these and how do they then fit in with what you're doing? So we're not expecting everything to be in a brown paper bag because you're trying to be all natural or make it eco-friendly. There are ways that you can change this up. Even if you're using a simple brown paper bag, you can add a bow to it, you can add a stamp, you can dye. Yes, stay on brand, know your brand. Yeah, you have to. So you have to ensure that, but the thing is, when we're saying, even though you're staying on brand, you have to ensure that there's room for growth. So as you're saying, like what you're doing now with your hang tags, it's still minimalist, but you add, it's not color, but again it's brown, but it's that black is on it. What I'm saying before in terms of with Candice, or whoever may be doing some sort of packaging, sometimes we know it may be hard or it may be difficult based on resources, but you have to find ways to ensure that your full package represents your brand. So yes, you have a great product, you may have great messaging, you may have great social media, but then your packaging falls down. So when people get your pieces, sometimes they may be disappointed because it does not fit in with everything else they've been seeing that you're doing. So your brand audit is not just about your product itself and its messages, but also the entire package itself of your thank you cards, if you're doing thank you cards, if you want to be that personal, the email messages you may send out after someone subscribes, the tags that you're putting onto your clothing, the tags on your boxes, the labels on your boxes, the packages that you're using. You have to ensure that they all fit into the same aesthetic or the message that you're giving to them. So that's where the brand comes in. You're saying your package is awful, so then you realize that some parts of your branding needs auditing. So again, that is your packaging. As I said, it could be a simple box, but you make this box yours. Be it a stamp, be it a specific color that then represents seeming bespoke, or a color that then evokes some sort of emotion that they will remember you. or handwritten messaging on the inside that could then say, you know what, this is something that I can keep. Again, you ensure too as well that it can be something maybe that they can reuse, so then they will remember your brand. If it's a box that it's not of the material itself is something that can be reused, either they keep your products in it or they can add others to it. But it's just in a way that they then can ensure that they are remembering your brand in all aspects, because not every day they're on social media, not every day they may wear your product, but your packaging or your tag may have just caught their eye that they're able to keep it. So you have to look at all of these things when you're looking at where you are and evaluating yourself in terms of a proper brand structure. Also, you have to look at your social media, you're looking at your ROI, you're looking at your insights. So if you have a website, thank you. If you have a website, how often are you checking your analytics? Where are you in terms of people searching for you? Are they seeing you at the top of the top 5? Are you not even on the first page? Then you have to check over your website's analytics to ensure somehow that the SEO, that search engine optimization is on for your website, so people can find you. Even if they can't purchase from your website, they have to be able to at least have your website as a lookbook. People can see what you offer. Not all times people are on Facebook and on Instagram, they may first ask for your website. Even have a landing page if you don't have a website, where this can have a call to action. If it's anything that they can then see, a new collection is coming up, 1 or 2 pieces of products that you want to push or promote, that they see this on your landing page, they have a small bio information on you, and they click forward to then collect their email addresses. So then you then create as well a mailing list. You're looking at your marketing channel statistics. So are you looking at your insights on Instagram? Are you looking at it on Facebook? Who are the persons that are then following you? Male, female, their ages. That's part of the demographic as well. How often are they online? So you know when to post and when not to post. What are they more interested in? Are you seeing their spikes with certain posts and others? I'm not saying to then follow that same post for the entire week, but ensure more types of posts like that are then a mainstay in your weekly or monthly content schedule. That has to be there. Brand awareness for your target market. So even if it's that you're highlighting certain customers, sorry about that. I'm so sorry. So that you're seeing as well too that they are you're sharing people, even that not just model pictures, but persons who wear your products. Show that you are a real brand. Yes, it's true they're seeing these fabulous models in your pictures. Not everyone's a model, they may not look that way. You highlight customers that work in your stuff, that wear your stuff, that promote your stuff. They are now your brand ambassadors. So you have to look at them as well. Lean into them and tune into what they are doing to ensure that you are then expanding yourself to the right markets. When you share what they are sharing in terms of in your pieces or what they like, then you attract more persons like that. So you have to look at that as well. So when you see someone wearing a piece in terms of a client, you then think to yourself, I can look like this, or this is how it should be worn. So as then you have to ensure that you expand in terms of that awareness with your target market, not just leave it in terms of the model shots or even just those quotes and different things in between. You have to mix up that content and what you're sending out to persons. So what we're doing again now, we're making sure that we have an action plan to ensure all parts of our brand matches up. So to ensure that you need a brand audit, you check again in terms of what is your identity, how are you identified, those two to 3 words, 3 to 5 words, how are you identified. When I see a post, I'm supposed to be in some way thinking it may not be yours, but it may be a way that when I look at it, it looks like a brand that I'm familiar with. So I then can say maybe this is this person, this may be mine. Yes, I'm seeing those crisp shirts on a nice watch with beads on it. I know who that is. I'm seeing a flat lay where it's always a wooden flat lay, or if it's a specific color that you like to use, that those become your colors in terms of when you're doing your flat lays. Yes, it's true you may have products on person's hands, their necks, their chest, but in terms of certain things that are uniform from your product or your brand, I can be able to identify. If it's a specific font, if it's a specific color, certain codes that I see, I know that it's yours. You have to ensure that our identity is there. So I just want to recap in terms of what I've been talking about for a little bit, because I don't want to go too long. So you then have to ensure that you have the right identity. Who are you? Are people understanding who you are? If not, then something needs to be done. If you're reaching the right demographics, if you need to do research, then you should put out that research based on, again, through your analytics, through your insights, or even possibly do a questionnaire or survey. You may have to do it sponsored, because not sometimes these things get missed or lost based on the amount of things that are coming in already on social media. So you may have to do a survey just to ensure that you are targeting the right persons. Which posts are getting the most amount of likes, the most posts are getting the most amount of engagement. Then again, you can see what is your demographic and what they're looking for. Your mission and strategic objectives, and how are you reaching these objectives? Where are you right now, and where do you want to be in 2 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years? Do you want to have your own space? Do you want to be in a retail space? Do you want to ensure that your website can then bring on e-commerce? These are things then you have to ensure that your target market is ready for this, or there are persons as well too that will be willing to spend online, or do they like going into a store to touch and feel? Then you need to find a retailer. Should you be going to more markets or trade shows to ensure that then that expansion or that awareness is then brought to you regionally, internationally? These are things you have to look at. Make sure that as well too that you are ready for markets, because you may not have the right product ready for the space. You may not have resources to do proper production. Ensure your packaging matches your product, your images, and your brand. So if your product has to match to your messages have to match to your product, as well as your packaging. So you ensure that there's at the end of the day, a full package then that you're giving to your audience. If you have any questions, thank you so much. I can take a couple questions now for persons who may have missed or didn't see the entire thing. This will be on our website as well as on our Facebook page soon. If you are interested in us helping you with a brand audit, we can send you a couple questions so you can start going, and from there we can do a consultation. But it is something as well that we do offer. So if you're interested in doing a brand audit, be it through your social media, or is it just your full brand needs auditing, or even that you need something in terms of your product itself to ensure that you're on the right path with your logo, your packaging, your website, we can help you with that. So if there are no questions, I can wrap up, but I'll hold on a little bit just in case anyone has any questions here. Thank you, Megan. Hope all is well. As I said, so we're just ensuring that you have that audit done. It's just really ensuring that if a makeover is needed for you, that you are ready to do it, that you are rechecking where you are with your brand, not just with social media, but the product itself, its packaging, where you're placed, your placements, and just ensuring that the strategies that you're using are the right strategies to meet and reach your target market. Do we have any questions? Thank you. Thank you. And as I said, this would be, in case of anyone, if you need to share it with friends, by tonight or in the morning, it should be on our website, as well as on Facebook page. That is thefashionarch.com and the Fashion Arch on Facebook. And as I said, if you need any extra information, we can send you some stuff, so a brand audit can be done. We have worksheets on our website, as well as we can send you more questions to see where you are in terms of a brand audit. And it's aina@thefashionarch.com. AIN. So I saw someone just joined, but don't worry, we would have this video up live for you to see, and we would try to do more tips daily this week especially, and hope you can join us then. And if there are no more questions, we will be wrapping up. Thank you, Elizabeth. Right, so just want to keep it tight and short. Hopefully it was helpful for most of you. Thank you. So as I said, find our replay soon, and we will chat if it's anything tomorrow night around the same time, or it may be during the day. We would let you know sometime during the day tomorrow. To have a good night. Bye.